We've talked the whole night through.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Cheeky steam, having my vitamins, and some aloe vera, some of this. Because it's so lubricating. Then also some hot water. Because my throat feels tight. Wait, everyone smile. So we are here. It is finally show season. Woo! My family flew in from Melbourne to come see me. And so we had some lunch. And then I just sat by the pool with my score before heading off to opening night. This is just organizing the last of the gifts. And I had to put one on every single stand. That took a bit of time. It's in video. Oh. Why are you filming? It's opening night. Picture this. My parents flew from Melbourne and his parents flew from Queensland. We're finishing Act 2 finale. We're on the floor. The lights don't go out. For like 10 seconds, we get up and just walk off stage because the lighting desk has crashed and now we have no lights for the rest of the show. We're so happy about that. We're so happy.
Did you guys walk off in character? Because I fucking didn't.
No! Okay, it's once again editing Sophie here. I'm gonna further explain that. So end of Act 2 is like this huge, we ended our production with like this huge fight scene with all the characters involved. And specifically Susanna and Marcellina, when we're fighting in my choreo, Marcellina pulls my hair and then flips me. And so we did like a little stage combat. And she flips me and I'm supposed to end like face down on the floor. And then it's a massive blackout. And during the blackout, we can get off stage because there's no curtain. There's no curtain. But what happened is, it must have been like halfway through that song, the lighting desk crashed, like full, just like shut down, reset. And it's just like full lighting. And so I remember landing like face down and I was waiting to like feel the lights go off and it doesn't happen. And so I wait a bit more and it still doesn't happen. And I hear the audience kind of like awkwardly clap, like they didn't know that they had to clap then. And then I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was Michelle, my Marcellina, but someone like kicked me and was like, Sophie, you have to get up. And I remember like being like this and I look up and I'm like right in front of the door in the set piece and the door's open and there's one of our like backstage crew going like, and I was like, okay, I gotta get off stage. But then, if you know the Marriage of Figaro, all of Act 4 is meant to be like in a garden at nighttime. We didn't have any lights. So all of Act 3 and 4, no different lighting. It was just like full, like bright state for the entire thing. And I remember singing my aria and I'm like, I was like, here under cover of darkness. And someone like snickered in the audience because it was so fucking bright. And then like all of Act 4, like the whole trickery is like, he can't see us in the light because it's nighttime. So of course he mistakes the Countess for Susanna, because it's so dark. But we're just like in interrogation lighting. That's how bright it was. But our director came out and did like a little speech before we started the second half to tell people what was happening. It was just a little bit like, you know, like the show must go on, but like I remember being quite gutted because like my parents flew in to see it on this particular night and they didn't really get to ever experience the show how it was meant to be experienced. Also that night, the wheel, during the transition between Act 1 and Act 2, the wheel fell off the chaise lounge. And I remember waiting in the wings, which was like the closet that I go into, and a stage manager coming up to me and telling me and being like, there's no wheels on the chaise lounge. Don't sit on it. It's gonna break. And we were like, oh shit. And then they're like, tell everyone on stage too. They don't know. And I was like, like what the fuck? Anyway, I come through the closet and as I get on stage, I see that an ensemble member's shoe sole had fallen off as well. So I picked that up and put that in my pocket because I was like, no fuck. And yeah, so I had to like whisper to the people on stage, like, don't sit on the couch, it's broken. But slowly the message got relayed and everyone knew. But a lot of the Act 2 blocking, which if you know Marriage of Figaro, like Act 2 finale goes for like 20 minutes or something stupid like that. Like it's so long. And Act 2 in itself is really long. And kind of like once you're on, you don't leave the stage. Like, you know, you're there. You're on. You're riding this ride. Anyway, a lot of the Act 2 blocking was around this chaise lounge. And it was so funny because at one point, like Figaro pretends he's hurt and we're supposed to get him on the chaise lounge and like we do this whole big like, oh, look at him so hurt. Oh, poor baby. And at the same time, there's a little stool down, like really further down stage. And the Countess is supposed to pick that up and move that up stage so that it's out of the way for the fight choreography later. And I remember our Countess Annie going to grab the stool. And in her mind, she probably was like, oh, let me fix this. And Figaro can sit on this. But at the same time, Figaro was like, shit, where do I sit? And I watched in real time, because I'm not doing anything at that point. I was just standing there. I watched in real time as Figaro limped and fell onto the bed, which makes sense logically. And so then our poor Countess is just carrying this stool with nothing to do with it. And at the exact same moment that Figaro sits in the bed, she just like put the stool down and sat on it herself. Which like, it was so funny because Annie, I love you, babe. She sat with her back to the audience because she just panicked. And so she just was like carrying the stool and she just goes and sits, and she gave me the funniest fucking look. Like, it was so funny that I had to turn away. I was like, because I almost broke because it was so freaking funny. And then she immediately had to get up because it was the blocking. And so then on top of all of that, when we get to the fight choreo, we're already like, this has been a shit show. Like, we get to the final fight choreography. I'm thrown across the stage. I'm landing face down. Lights don't work. We can't get off stage. What the fuck? Also, at the very end of the show, it's supposed to end in a blackout as well, so that we can get off and start the bows. And it ends with Figaro and Susanna making out, having a little kissy kiss, because, you know, we won. Time to smooch. And I remember, like, it was getting up to that point musically, and I was, like, thinking in my head, I was like, holy fucking shit, we have not had any time to discuss this. Because the nature of the show is, like, once you're out there, you're out there. Like, it's so, like, woo, 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 that, like, you have no time backstage. That's why I haven't filmed a lot. Sorry. But anyway, I remember, like, being there, and I was holding hands with Sam, my Figaro, and I was just thinking in my head, like, what the fuck are we gonna do? And we're singing. We can't discuss it. But luckily, we were on the same wavelength, and we just, like, held the final kiss for, like, 2 beats, and then broke apart. And I was like, what the fuck do we do now? And Sam, the man, the myth, the legend, was just like, come on, and, like, held out his hand for me to, like, run off stage with him, you know, like it's our wedding night. And I was like, thank God, with some God tier improvising. Because I just remember thinking in that moment, like I had no clue what to do, because I was just, like, so upset that, like, my parents came all this way and, like, all this had gone wrong, because they'd never seen me do opera before. It was the first time seeing me do opera. Shout out to everyone involved. Shout out to the entire cast and crew, because I've never had that happen before, and I think we handled that like champs. And then the second show went great. Anyway, that's showbiz, baby.
There's nothing.
Currently in the Macca's drive-through, because that's what we fucking do. I had a $1.50 Sunday voucher, so I'm getting a fucking Sunday. We crushed that. We killed that, okay? I don't want to hear nothing. We got out there, we slayed, we ate, we devoured. I almost cried because, like, my family and my friends were there. Like, Alex from Germany! Alex came back from Germany and was like, no, I gotta see this bitch. That's dedication. And, everyone was so sweet and lovely. And look, I have all these flowers. And now it's fry time. Mama deserved it. Also, never done Act 4 in full lights, and we were so sweaty. Anyway.
Can we get a Liz in the frame?
Yes. Oh, it's not gonna be.
Is he gonna drop any more photos?
Ew, who's that? So as you can see, I spent the morning with my family before they flew back home. And that night, I saw the second cast closing show.
Someone's
I popped all sort of pussy.
And then we had the day off in between, and I went to go have a relaxing day in the park and spilled my matcha all over myself in my car. So that was a great, brilliant start to my super relaxing day, just reading in the park. And that's what I read. I read this whole book that day. Earthlings. It was great. It was weird. I recommend it, but read the content warnings first. Then it was closing night. So I stress cleaned my apartment a bit to try and distract myself from the sadness that was coming in. And when that was getting too hectic, I was like, nope. And I went to the river and I read and had a little coffee. Oh yeah, and I asked our lovely director if I could write like graduating class of 2024 on the walls, and she said yes, so that was a little hidden Easter egg.
Brittany, how many mistakes are you gonna make tonight?
0.
Devin, how many mistakes are you gonna make tonight?
Probably 2 minutes for that.
Addie, how many mistakes are you gonna make tonight?
None. Sophie, how many mistakes are you gonna make tonight? Take 2. How many mistakes are you gonna make tonight?
0.
You guys love each other, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet. That will go away.
But I've gotten to the point, you should know this too.
I just want the best for you. And I think that you deserve the world.
Thank you.
So that's really all I want.
I'm looking at your laces.
Final show. Annie, come here. Final show.
Final show here. Next one's at the Met, guys.
Next one's at the
Don't
Met.
worry, catch us at the Met.
I'm in a limited time at La Scala.
This one here as Countess, next one as chorus number 3.
That's so sad.
And that's the end of Figaro. I just wanted to say a huge thank you to all the cast, crew, orchestra, creatives, everyone involved. It was such a brilliant time in my life, and Eddie's vlogs has made me so nostalgic and made me miss it all. So I love you guys. Subscribe and like and comment, and yeah.
Anyway, that's showbiz, baby.